Let's take a look at what the BJP manifesto says with respect to housing and infrastructure. It talks about building 100 new cities enabled with technology and infrastructure. It talks about launching a full-fledged program for rural rejuvenation, launching a massive low-cost housing program. It wants to leverage land as a resource in urban areas, encourage housing through credit availability and interest subvention schemes, and work on freight corridors and industrial corridors. Sanjay, it's for the first time that we have a new government talking about urban renewal, looking at creating new cities. We had some projects like these during the UPA regime, a lot of them still stuck in the land acquisition phase. What do you make of this whole focus on urban upliftment? When Narendra Modi went to Varanasi, he spoke about cleaning the streets. Very interesting. What do you make of this?
So I think if the government has rolled out this manifesto of increasing urbanization, that means they definitely have a plan to bring the economy back, because there's no way you can create 100 cities if there's no economic activity in those cities to be able to attract the working people, to be able to find jobs in those cities, and to be able to sustain the growth of those cities. So which basically means infrastructure development, economic development, and then of course the natural succession of urbanization in those cities. So a lot of us actually believe that that's going to happen. What's going to happen, only time will tell. But I think the sentiment suggests that this government will make it an agenda as part of their master plan, where the real estate sector would be given some importance, significance, because it impacts the lives of so many, and there should be some movement. How will they differentiate themselves as a government with the previous government? How will they make it more comprehensive? How will they make it more affordable for a common man from a housing point of view? How will they make it from a bank's point of view, or investor point of view, or developer point of view? Will they be addressing the needs of all? That has to be, one has to wait and watch.
All right. Samir, ever since the run-up to the big verdict on the 16th of May and post the verdict, there has been this huge sense of optimism in the country. The markets are on a high, the rupee is on a run. There are reports of how a lot of foreign money is coming into the country. So in this backdrop of a positive sentiment, people saying fresh foreign money is coming in, what kind of an impact do you see on the property markets, and especially housing prices? Developers have been on the wait and watch mode, holding on to prices. Can we now expect a rally in the next 12 months?
You see, the mood has become very positive, absolutely. What had happened in the last 1.5 years was that the investors had suddenly gotten out of the market. And especially in tier 1 cities like NCR, if you were to look at it, there is a huge investor-driven, NCR is a huge investor-driven market. Right. Bangalore, not so much so. But markets like these have also run up in pricing so much, and there is so much more supply that is hitting the market that is going to impact prices in a negative way, even though the mood may be very positive. So I think what is going to happen is that if the mandate was not as clear as it has come out to be, markets would have crashed. Now the markets are going to be stable and slowly inching upwards rather than going downwards, because the mood has become so positive. Investors will definitely come back into the market. There is an oversupply situation, but that oversupply situation will slowly get arrested. Okay,
so all those on the wings are now going to make their move and make their investment. Let's get back to our reporters and let's try to gauge what's happening in the cities, how are developers in those cities reacting. Let's first talk about Chennai. My colleague Jude Sanith now joins me. Hi Jude, welcome to the show. Tell me, how is the real estate industry in Chennai reacting to the big win that BJP has recorded last Friday? We know Chennai is largely a stable market. Can we now expect a rally in prices given this whole environment of optimism?
There's been a lot of optimism in Chennai, so to speak, Vasudha. In fact, the developers have already had a long wish list as far as Chennai is concerned from the new BJP government. The first pointer, of course, is the fact that they want to sell existing stock and get done with it already before the markets can continue being bullish, so to speak. So prices are definitely going to see a rise after developers finish off selling the stock. There's also a lot of emphasis that's going to be laid on the inflection point that Chennai's real estate will see in the coming few months. In fact, prices have been doing a bit of correction in the last 2 years due to the economic downturn. But what we're hearing is the fact that owing to the absolute majority that the BJP government has received, the inflection point here could be not more than 2 months away. So what we're going to be seeing is a massive increase in pricing in the next 2 months, or perhaps even earlier. Another very interesting point about what developers are hoping for in Chennai's real estate includes how newer micro markets are being discovered. With every passing month, we're looking beyond OMR at micro markets like Porur, and newer segments also. Let's remember that Chennai hasn't been seeing too much activity as far as integrated townships are concerned. That's changing. National developers like PBEL, the Japanese mega city is coming into play. So, a lot of activity happening, and it certainly looks good. Bright days for Chennai, certainly.
Okay, now you also track the Bangalore market. What's the mood like there in Bangalore? Bangalore is again a stable market. What are the big expectations? What's on the wish list of developers in Bangalore?
You think Bangalore, and the first thing that comes to your mind is infrastructure and connectivity. The Bangalore Metro Rail is a project that has seen its fair share of delays. So the emphasis now lies on completing that. In fact, the 42-kilometer stretch is expected to be completed only in September 2015, as opposed to March 2015, which was the initial completion date. But stepping aside from the Metro Rail itself, Bangalore is in dire need of a comprehensive suburban rail network. And in fact, PC Mohan from the Bangalore Central constituency, the BJP candidate who contested from that seat, did talk about introducing a comprehensive suburban rail network to connect most of Bangalore's outlying micro markets, most of Bangalore's suburban localities. So a metro rail, a comprehensive suburban rail network surely looks on the fast track. There's also a lot of emphasis on providing LRG housing as a means of slum clearance to get more people into homes from the slums. That's one of the welfare initiatives that the BJP government there, that the BJP candidate there at least, is certainly serious about. There's also a move to introduce a power plant, a dedicated power plant exclusively for Bangalore. There's been so much talk and so much that's been written about Bangalore's power crisis. So a power plant exclusively for the city certainly looks like good news for Bangalore. So infrastructure certainly looks on the fast track there. It's probably a game of wait and watch now to see whether all of this actually materializes in the next couple of years.
All right, Jude there with his interesting inputs on what's happening in Bangalore and Chennai. Let's now move to the Mumbai metropolitan region and Pune. Our correspondent Nikhil Sivdas joins us now. Hi Nikhil. Tell us, there are many micro markets in the MMR, and we all know that over the course of the last few months, markets have been rather slow. They've been in a slump. Can we expect the mood to now lift in MMR?
Certainly, Vasudha. Now, Mumbai is actually a very interesting market in the sense that almost practically every builder in the city has been waiting for the Modi government to come in. I mean, everyone's practically very tired of the way the UPA government has been functioning. Practically every builder I've spoke to has indicated that they're firmly in the Modi bank. Now, what's going to happen with the clear mandate that has been given? They're expecting a lot of things to happen. First is they expect buyer sentiment to pick up drastically. They feel that buyers will feel more encouraged right now to loosen their purse strings and actually buy more property. They feel the sense of caution which buyers had so far will actually vanish now that the Modi government's in, and they expect the economy to basically go on a fast track. But the interesting part here is most of the buyers I've spoken to have been hoping that prices will actually decrease now that the Modi government's come in. But builders, on the other hand, are of the opinion that now that demand is going to pick up, they may actually increase prices, they may keep it stable, and may even consider increasing at some point in time if robust demand comes in.
All right, Nikhil, thanks so much for that. Let me also get a perspective from Sanjay here. Sanjay, for Chennai and Bangalore, like Jude pointed out, a stable market, developers now expecting the infrastructure projects to get completed. But both of these markets are largely IT driven, and with Modi's focus on development, good times for these markets, more job creation.
I'm not really sure about that. So Chennai is slightly distinct in the sense it had a legacy of very strong manufacturing base, which if you look back last 4 or 5 years, they've really lost the edge on manufacturing side. Lot more investment has gone into Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Haryana actually in manufacturing side. So that's a bit of dampener. But IT continues to grow because the talent quality is so good, and because the conservative market never really went up drastically, although for an average local citizen in Chennai, the prices that have gone up last 5 years are considerable. So who would have thought a Velachery would fetch 16,000 rupees per square feet, which used to be under 4,000 or 5,000 rupees per square feet. So it's an interesting angle, but I think it's a very stable market, like you said. Good talent, good rationale. Since they did not go up, it will continue to do well, and I think it will improve over a period of time. But the fortunes will be linked to economic activity, because Chennai doesn't have a very large, driver of the economy other than the port, manufacturing, IT, and some regions which are textile driven.
All right. Time for a small breather here. We'll come right back and get Sameer's perspective on how the Delhi NCR market and the MMR market is going to react to this big electoral verdict. Stay tuned.